Hey, so this is just a super quick video so I can give directions for what you are doing today, which hopefully, if you're on track, should be Tuesday. Should already be done with Mondays, and we are moving on. So, really quickly, I want to address something from yesterday. So yesterday at the end of the lesson, I asked you to decide whether or not you think viruses are alive. Now, this isn't something where scientists can say for sure, we know for sure that they are or are not, but most scientists kind of agree that they're not actually alive. Remember, there are those 4 characteristics of life we talk about. For something to be alive, they have to have all of those things. Viruses are not made of cells. They can't reproduce on their own. So even though they have DNA or some sort of genetic material, a lot of scientists don't really think that they're alive. They're kind of like in between. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do today is label a cell. So this is a diagram of a pretty typical cell that you would find in an animal, including like a person. What you're going to do is move these boxes around. One second. Order sent back. Okay, you're going to move these boxes around to label this cell diagram, okay? You might have to do a little bit of Googling to figure this out. So what you could do, for instance, we didn't learn about the Golgi apparatus. You could Google Golgi apparatus, figure out what it looks like, and then find which of these is the Golgi apparatus, okay? Again, a lot of these parts of the cell or organelles, a lot of these organelles we haven't learned about yet, okay? Most of them you won't really learn too much about until you get to high school biology. You're then going to compare what a typical animal cell looks like with a typical virus. So this is a coronavirus right here. There are only 4 parts that you're going to label here. Already off the bat, you can see it's a lot simpler than a typical animal cell. So of these 4, you're just going to move them around. You're going to move these 4 boxes around to where you correctly label this. Again, you might have to do some research to figure out where they go. Speaking of research, the next thing you're going to do is pick 2 organelles to research. So 2 weeks ago, we learned about 4 different parts of the cell membrane, the nucleus, mitochondria, and cytoplasm. You're going to pick 2 more from this list to learn about, okay? So pick the 2 that sound the most interesting to you. Oh no, and it looks like I wrote Golgi apparatus twice. I will fix that before I post it. So you're going to pick the 2 that seem the most interesting to you, and you are going to research the purpose of them and why they're important. And then you are going to write it down here. So let's say I picked the Golgi apparatus for the first one. I would type Golgi apparatus right here. I think that's how you spell it. Then I would type the function and purpose. And I also want you to say where you found it, okay? For instance, if let's say the website you looked it up on was biologyforkids.com. That's what you would put, biologyforkids.com. If you happen to have your textbook in your house, you could probably find the information in your science textbook, and in which case you would write science textbook for the source. Okay? Lastly, you're going to learn about how viruses attack living cells. So there's an Edpuzzle video that has a really cool animation of viruses attacking cells. For the Edpuzzle, you do need to make sure that you go to the correct period, so click on your period and go to Edpuzzle. Office hours will be at noon, and let me know if you have any questions.